Okay, we are recording and I'll edit it later. So, how long have you been doing woodwork?
I started actually in 83.
83.
83. I was just leaving radio and wanted to do something to pay my rent. This is true. It's a true story.
Okay. Is this when you set everything up in the closet of your apartment?
Yeah. Oh, you told me the story?
You told me that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah. Well, it was a 4x8 closet, and I took all of the carpet out and all of the poles and everything, and turned all my tools on, and went outside in the hallway to see if I could hear my tools. And when I couldn't hear those tools, I said it's on and popping. So I built a cabinet for a lady in Memphis, Tennessee. She paid me $1,200 to build that cabinet, design it and build it for her. And I put it in my truck and drove it to Memphis and got my $1,200 and paid my rent. And I said, well, there's no need to go back to radio now. I'm making money. That's how I started.
Okay. I got started in like 97 when the tornadoes hit downtown.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, my house was affected. They tore
Blocks.
everything down. They had blocks and blocks and stuff down. And the contractors, the insurance company would only pay the contractors to repair so much. $247,000 in repairs, and they could not finish repairing the house.
It must have been a $241,000 house.
Something like that. So I ended up having, by necessity, to learn how to fix certain things in the house.
Oh, yeah.
And when I got some of that stuff done, I looked at the baseboards and they had painted them white. I thought, this is gorgeous baseboards. They're very, intricately three layered. So I pulled them out, stripped them down,
That's a lot of work.
put them back. I'm still not done. From 97 to 2019, I haven't gotten all of them
You
done.
got to spend more than 3 hours every Saturday.
Yeah.
4 hours Saturday would be better.
Yeah.
Man.
But, as you go along, it's a house that's over 100 years old. As you go along,
You just showed me that house today.
Yeah,
That house is 100 years old.
100 plus.
Yeah.
Quick side story on that one. When that house was built, it wasn't the original one that you find in the historic records. When you go to the historic records, it's a wooden house, but mine is made out of fire brick.
Did they take a wooden house and cover it with fire brick or what?
Fire took the house a couple of years after they built it, so the owner said, I never want to be put out of my home by a fire again, so they used fire brick, double walls, outside, inside, double brick wall, fire brick.
Now, was this gentleman's name Piggy? I've heard stories about that family. That same family did some stuff like that with straw.
No, it's one of the historic homes here in Little Rock, and it's one of the, it's not on the register. I refuse to put it on the register, because if you do that,
You can't do certain
you
things.
can't do
Yeah,
certain
right.
things. So I get away with a lot more than my neighbors can, who are real proud of their homes. I was like, look, mine functions.
Yeah. Well, now, if you get it the way you want it, can you put it on the register after that? Or will it be too many changes?
I'm not sure, because at one point we were going to put in brand new Pella windows, because the old windows were just, they're over 100 years old. And a neighbor down the street who had wood siding on his house, all around it, beautiful shiplap wood siding, pulled it off to put new felt underneath. And when he went to put the shiplap back, one of the historic people decided they were going to sue him. And so for about 2.5 years, he had felt exposed to the outside world. So finally he got him into court, and the judge said, close up your house.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they would sue me or not, because I've done something not historic.
Is that too loud?
Maybe. Which which makes me wonder if we should start over.
Well, the first one wasn't that. The first one wasn't that. No. What you want to? You sure?
Sure, okay. Take two.
Take two. So you were telling me about your house earlier,
Yeah,
and that it's 100 years old.
it's 100
I
years.
passed it today when,
Yeah.
when we drove over here. But I didn't think any of those houses over there were quite that old. I don't know why I'm thinking 60, 75 years old or something like that, but over 100 years old.
Over 100 years old.
The other houses on the block?
All over 100.
Okay.
Yeah, that whole area of town used to be referred to, especially Gaines Street, Millionaire Road. That's where all the big wigs in old
Okay.
Little Rock used to build their houses and everything. And then as you came from that Gaines Street out, the further you got, the poorer you became.
And now all the poor people live downtown.
All the poor people live downtown.
Well, there's regentrification
Yeah.
now, and so a lot of folks are coming back. But you started out working on that house in terms of your woodworking?
Yeah. Yeah, because none of the windows in the house are the same size. You can't put a standard window in anything. They all have to be custom made to fit each
Well, you know-
individual window.
You know, we have privy to a shop now.
Yeah. Well, I've rebuilt all but one window in the entire house, and it is.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
How
and it
many
is
windows are we talking?
14.
14 windows. Okay, that's not bad. I was thinking 40 or 30 or something like that.
No, it's 14 windows that are all at least 6 feet tall. Some of them have that diamond work, lattice work in there, so there's panes of glass that are this big, there's panes of glass that are that big, and to make them all weatherized and sealed tight so that there are no drafts. It was a learning curve for me because I'd never opened up a window before, but through all of that, I learned a lot about how to do carpentry and woodworking and everything else, and it's expanded to other parts of the.
We're a lot alike because I was in radio for a while.
Yeah.
For 17 years in radio. And when I got fed up with radio, I turned to the other, I don't know if it was a talent or a gift or what, but I turned to something that I could do.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be woodworking, and I made a cabinet for somebody and started my business and the cabinets were, but I had to teach myself everything. I would go to places and look at how furniture was actually put together. Somebody would come to me and say, "Hey Rick, can you make this thing that does that, looks like this, and can have all these other things going with it so I can do this?" The term called selling wolf tickets, and so I was selling wolf tickets at the time. Yeah, I can do that. I can get you a place where Superman can change. You'll have a fish tank. Your wife can ice skate, and it'll also make bread. I can do all of that. That's the kind of work I do. You can, and they would give me some money, and I would think, oh heck, now I gotta go make that. But I learned a lot.
Your first project, did it ever have you snookered to the point where you were just like, I don't know how I'm going to pull this off?
Well,
or do all of them
no,
happen?
all of them are like that.
Okay.
Because
I'm glad I'm not alone.
I don't like to make boxes.
Yeah.
I really despise making boxes because they have machines and people and big plants that they inundate the market with these boxes, and they're cheap boxes.
Yeah.
The particle board, in some cases, not even 3/4, like 5/8 or half-inch particle board. The cheaper particle board with the larger particles.
I hate working with particle board.
It's all the IKEA.
Yeah.
All that stuff. All that knockdown furniture. I even know how to make that. I made 1,000 cabinets for Kelly Surface with no CNC router, but they were all within a 64th of an inch, and that's 15 thousandths of an inch of accuracy with jigs. I had 4 jig tables set up, and when people would come in, they would go, "Where did you get these jig apparatuses?" I said, "I built them." And they would look at them and see the pneumatics and the springs and the lifts and all of that stuff. And they would say, "Well, no, I'm talking about the tables."
Yeah.
I said, "I built those." That's been my nemesis, is that I make stuff to make stuff, and I learned that from a German guy, Marvin Guberman, who told me when I was a machinist. He says, "Tools do the work, and man makes tools." Never forgot that. Never forgot that.
Well, one of the things that I've learned over the past years is that a jig is key to making everything.
It's a tool.
And folks don't believe this, but a speed square is probably the ultimate jig because you know, throw down, you can strike a straight line with it, you can use it to cut a straight line with your saw, you can take it and figure out angles and all this other stuff.
Line stuff up, hold
Oh,
things
yes.
with a clamp.
Oh,
hold it
yes.
at 90-degree clamp here, clamp here.
You need a quick
Yeah.
hand shelf, put a clamp,
That's it.
your
That's it.
speed square underneath it and let part of it hang out and lock that other part over there.
Yeah. I've got a 12-inch one and I've got a 6-inch one. And I think at one time I had seen one that was all 18 or 24 inches and I wanted to buy it. I didn't
Yeah.
buy it. It may have been in Harbor Freight or someplace like that, but I wanted that one because, you know, those are just things that
Yeah.
you never know.
No.
You never know how they will help you in the shop. And jigs for repetitive work, for accuracy, for things that have to be right every time you use it.
Yeah.
That jig is the way to go. And I'm good at making jigs. I make a bunch of them. I wish I had a not a historical site or anything like that, but just a room
Yeah.
with all these different jigs, so I could just go around and have a picture of what they did, you know. And this one here made that so and so, and this one did such and such.
Well,
That'd be nice.
you know, we can make a gallery on our website, and I think we're gonna add that.
Oh, a jig.
Of jigs, because folks don't really think about jigs when they're doing their home projects and stuff.
And you know, and there've been a lot of things that I've seen, jigs that I've seen, that I have usurped ideas from.
Yeah.
Didn't make the exact jig, but I said, oh,